We're getting some new images in this morning from a hospital in southeastern Pakistan, overwhelmed by patients affected by the catastrophic flooding in the country. According to the hospital, it has taken in more than 72,000 patients in recent days. The flooding has affected more than 30 million people, and the number of dead now more than 1,400. The situation is expected to get even worse, as we hear this morning from Ishan Garg.
After conducting an aerial survey of the province of Sindh, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif said the extent of the damage in the country looks unimaginable. Everywhere you look, it looks like a sea. That's what the Prime Minister had to say. And the UN has said that with more rains likely in the next few weeks, the situation could worsen still. There are concerns that further flooding could decimate the agricultural system in the country, which accounts for nearly 27% of the GDP of Pakistan. Estimates suggest that about 80% of the country's cotton crops have already been perished. And that comes as a huge shock to the textile industry in the country and also to the wider economy, which is still reeling back from the aftershocks of the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The country is cash-strapped and is low on foreign exchange reserves. There are further concerns that flooding could also exacerbate food shortages in the country. It's highly likely that the country's largest freshwater lake will break through its banks, and which is raising high alarms in the nearby cities which are likely to be flooded. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is visiting Pakistan and has appealed for nearly $160 million in aid for the country. Both UN officials and Pakistani officials are saying that in the long term, though, all countries need to band together to fight climate change. Pakistan is one of the countries that is having a very negligible carbon footprint, but it's one of the countries that is going to be worst affected by climate change, especially by rising sea levels and also by melting glaciers. Ishan Garg for CBC News, New Delhi.